Hello everyone, I am Gurudat. This is the second video of Law of Property and Easement. In the last video, we had discussed the syllabus of this subject along with the definition of property, the theoretical definition of property. Now, in this video, we will be discussing movable and immovable property. This will be a two-part video. In the first part, we will be discussing immovable property, and in the second part, we will be discussing movable property and the difference between both of them. So, what is the importance of understanding the concept of immovable property or difference between movable and immovable property? The legal purpose of this definition is that immovable property is governed by Transfer of Property Act, which we will be studying in this subject, while the movable properties are governed by Sale of Goods Act. Therefore, we must understand the difference between these two properties and how to classify any property as either movable property or immovable property. It is a very complex question, and without understanding the base of this problem, it will be very difficult for you to study this subject. So, understand the concept of movable property and immovable property very clearly. Property has not been defined anywhere in Transfer of Property Act. Broadly, it can be divided into movable or immovable property. Immovable property, again, it is not defined in Transfer of Property Act, but section 3 says that immovable property does not include standing timber, growing crops and grass. So it is a negative definition. By negative definition, we mean that three things have been said not to be included in immovable property. But what should be included in immovable property? This has not been defined in Transfer of Property Act. Then we will search the definition of immovable property in some other acts. So there are two acts in which certain things have been given to be which should be included in immovable property. The first act is Indian Registration Act. In Indian Registration Act, immovable property includes land, building, hereditary allowances, right to ways, lights, ferries and fisheries. Any benefits to arise out of land and things attached to earth, but not standing timber, growing crops or grass. Again, standing timber, growing crops and grass are not included in immovable property in Indian Registration Act also. Now we will look at second act. This is General Clauses Act 1897. You must be by now you must be understanding what is General Clauses Act. General Clauses Act is that act which includes definition of different legal terms which will be applicable to those terms in case the parent act does not define them. For example, if crime is not defined in Indian Penal Code, in criminal law, in Indian Criminal Act, Indian Penal Code, if crime is not defined, then we will look definition of crime where? In General Clauses Act. If it is defined in General Clauses Act, then the definition of General Clauses Act will be applicable in Indian Penal Code. It's just an example. This crime one was only example. Now the section 3 subclause 26, clause 26 of General Clauses Act defines immovable property as which shall include land, benefits to arise out of land, things attached to the earth or permanently fastened to anything attached to the earth. So this is a positive definition. It does not say that what should not be included, rather it says what should be included. So what should be included? Land should be included, benefit to arise of land should be included, things attached to the earth or permanently fastened to anything attached to the earth should be included. These above three elements will be expanded and studied. Definition of Registration Act shall also be used to give it the completeness. So that means that along with the definition of General Clauses Act, definition of Registration Act will also be used to give the completeness to this concept. Now the land, the first thing is land, benefits to rise out of land, things attached to the earth or permanently fastened to anything attached to the earth. Now land should include earth's surface, that is the upper surface of the earth. Earth's surface covered by water. So if there is some lake, some pond, that will also be included in land. Column of space above the earth's surface. So this space area will also be included in land. And ground beneath the earth's surface. So the ground beneath the earth's surface will also be included in land. Since the ground beneath the earth's surface will be included in land, therefore if any mineral is found in this area, then that will also be included in land, and therefore that will also be called as immovable property. This is a copyrighted image. Land also includes objects placed by human agency with the intention of permanent fixation. So if some house is constructed on a land with the purpose that it will be a permanent structure, then that will also be included in land. If some hand pump, for example, hand pump is attached to the earth, is fixed in a earth, then that will also be included in land. Below the surface, in natural state, anything which is found in natural state below the surface of earth, that will below the surface of land, that will also be included in land. Now second is benefit to arise out of land, profits a pendre. Every benefit which is arising out of immovable property is a immovable property. Alright. So if some benefit is surrounding, there is some plant, and that plant is giving fruits. So there is a mango tree and mangoes are being grown every year, then that mango will also be part of immovable property till it is attached to that plant. Every interest in such property, if you have given your house on rent, then that rent will also become part of immovable property. Profits a pendre, a right to take something from land of another. If you have given a land on lease, then then that lease provides a right to that person to use that land in some particular way. So that right will also be included in immovable property. Profits a pendre. As per Registration Act, benefit to arise out of land, hereditary allowances, rights of ways, lights, ferries and fisheries. So if there is some land on which a group of villagers are doing fishery or catching fish from several years, from like 50 years or 60 years, then that will become a profit a pendre, a right to take something from land of another. Alright, I hope you are understanding this. If some lake is in private property, for example, earlier king used to have lakes. So now in the private property of king, there is a lake. Now from that lake, many fishermen are fishing, catching fish from several years, from 2-3 generations. Then that will become a profits a pendre, a immovable property of those fishermen. Now similarly, we have two important cases regarding this concept. Anand Behera versus the state of Orissa. In this case, it was held that right to catch fish from Chilka Lake over a number of years was held to be equivalent to a benefit to arise out of land, that is profit a pendre. In Shantabai versus the state of Bombay, it was held that right to enter land, cut and carry away wood over a period of 12 years was held to be immovable property. The right to collect lac from trees is also immovable property. Now the third one and the last one, things attached to earth, doctrine of fixatures. In section 3 of TP Act defines attached to earth as including things rooted in the earth, things embedded in the earth, things attached to what is so embedded, chattel attached to the earth or building. Chattel is also called as movable property. So now these things are defined as things attached to the earth in section 3 of Transfer of Property Act. Now what is things embedded in a earth? Example, building is embedded in the earth. It was constructed with a purpose that it will be attached to this earth and it will not be removed from this place. If there is some removable cottage, then that will not be included in immovable property, then that will be movable property. But if it is embedded in the earth, a permanent construction, then that will be immovable property. for the Transfer of Property Act. Then comes things attached to what is so embedded. For example, air conditioner. So if in a house a air conditioner has been attached, now that air conditioner has been attached with the intention of permanent, uh, uh, that is a permanent investment, then that will become immovable property. But in the next video we will see how intention also changes the game. If a kirayadar, a tenant has installed a air conditioner, then that will not become a permanent property, then it will be that will be movable property. But if landlord has installed the AC, then it will become a immovable property. So intention is also important to understand whether it is a permanent whether it is movable property or immovable property. In the next video we'll see test how to decide whether something is permanently attached or something is temporarily attached. So in the next video we'll cover this thing.